All right, so last class I started creating a new project and I wanted you guys to kind of watch what I was doing, and if you were able to do it yourself as well at the same time, perfect. If you're not, it's okay. By watching you could probably learn. And also just make sure every time I do something and you don't understand what I'm doing, just please ask. Don't just hold any doubt there. It's okay, you can ask anytime, as many times as you want, okay? So today, for today's class, what I'm planning on doing is keep working on this new project. And I'd like to go through all the steps that we've seen already in the previous two classes, and then once this project is complete as per the two classes, then I'll probably have you guys to go and start one from the beginning yourself and do it all over again while you're here in the class, so that I can see what you're doing and help you out with anything that you don't know how to do or anything, right? So let's just keep going here. Let me make sure Jason is not still in, but that's okay. We got started anyway. So last class, the last thing I did was inserting some walls in this new project here. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off, which is just reading the classes here on my screen, so don't worry. Okay, so we modeled all these walls, and we also placed some of the doors. Now, when I was modeling the walls, if you remember, I told you guys that when you are gonna create a new wall, there is an option here. You can find it either here in the options bar at the top or in the properties panel too. That's called location line. And I was explaining to you that there's multiple options here. And that means let's say what side of the wall you're gonna use to draw the line when you create the wall. If you select wall center line, so look at the screen, what happens. See how the line that I'm drawing, it's right at the center of that wall? And then if I selected a different one, let's say a finished face exterior, then now my line is on the exterior face of that wall, right? So this is important to keep in mind, because for example in this project, when I'm modeling the exterior walls, right? I want to make sure I select the side, the correct side, according to where I'm gonna draw my line. If I'm gonna be drawing my lines on the exterior of the house, I want to make sure I have the exterior face of the wall selected, because otherwise I'll be placing the interior of the wall on the outside of the building, and that's not correct. So I have to make sure I'm using the right option from here. Okay, for example, I'm gonna draw this little wall here now, and this wall, it's just it's exterior wall, but it doesn't have any interior side to it, because on both sides the wall is on the exterior. As you can see here, this area here is an exterior deck, and this area here is also an exterior deck. So there's no interior on this part of the project. So I want to use a wall here that have the exterior finish on both sides, right? So I want to first create a new type for that, because I don't have any type for that right now. I have the interior type, which has the interior finish on both sides. I have the exterior type, which has exterior on one side and interior on the other. But I don't have one with exterior side on both sides, correct? So the first thing I want to do is create that type that I'm going to need to create this wall. And if you remember, to create a new type, we have two ways, right? We can go to the browser and find walls and then use one of these and duplicate it and create a new one, right? But I can also, from the wall command, when I'm already in the wall command, I can come to the edit type command here, and then from here I can also duplicate and create a new one. So both options are the same. It's up to you which one you use. But in this case, for example, I was already working on the walls, and I have the wall command going. So I don't want to just stop and go to the browser and find a wall. I can just from here go edit type and then duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate the exterior wall because I need a wall that has exterior finishes on both sides. So I better go and duplicate the exterior wall because I already have one side which is exterior here. So I select the exterior wall and say duplicate, right? And this one I'm going to call exterior wall both sides, let's say. Right? So now that I have the new type, I'm going to modify it to what I need. And I again come to the structure of the wall here and hit edit, and then instead of having the three, you see we had a 3/8 layer on the exterior side and a 1/2 inch layer on the inside. So now I'm gonna have a 3/8 layer on both sides because they are the same. So I'm gonna change this one to 3/8, and we can call it substrate is the same, right? So if I wanted, I could also change the materials of those layers. And let's just do that as an example for now. And let's assign a material called, what can we use here? Let's use, I don't see anything here that really, okay. Let's just use anything. Let's use a default wall material for the exterior. All right. So I can copy that material just by typing Control-C and paste it over here on the other side of the wall as well. So now these two sides have the default wall material. Now for the structure of the wall, I'm going to assign a material called, it was, I believe, something called lumber, or yeah, softwood lumber. That's going to be my structure material. Okay. Now I have that wall ready, and then I hit OK, and I can place that wall in my model. So what face do I want to use here, or what location line do I want to use here? I'm going to use this line here. So I want to use the finish face exterior. In this case, it doesn't matter because both sides, like I said, are exteriors, right? But I'm going to use this side here and just place that wall there. And I'm going to also place it here. Okay? So as you can see here, this wall is a little off from the line. So can anybody tell me what command I can use to put this wall in the right location? We can use align, exactly. It's probably the easier one, but we could also use move, right? We could move the wall down, but let's use align. So we can type AL, or we can go to the modify tab and select the align command over here, right? and we're gonna line it with the other wall that I just placed there. There. Good? All right, so now the other walls that we had before, like for example here, I want to align these two as well. So I'm using the align command now. So here inside the house, there's something here that I don't like, so I'm gonna align these two as well. Perfect. Now all the walls look correct, right? Yeah. Okay. So the walls that I had before there, this one for example, the exterior wall, I think we never assigned materials to it. So let's do it right now. Let's select one of the exterior walls and go edit type. And again, we go to the structure and edit that structure, and then on the material here, we're gonna say the substrate on the exterior side. And remember guys, the exterior side is always here at the top and the inside is always at the bottom. So any layer that says that's under this row here called layers below wrap, that means it's on the inside of the wall. And any layer on the above that, it's on the exterior side of the wall, right? So this is gonna be the material for my exterior finish. And I'm gonna assign the same one I did before, which is called wall default here, default wall. For the structure, I'm gonna use the same one called soft wall lumber. Now for the inside of the wall, I'm gonna use a new material. This time, this material is called drywall or gypsum. Sorry, I don't think it's gypsum wall board, which is the same as drywall. Okay. Good. Now for the interior walls, I'm gonna select one of them and edit the type again, edit the structure, and then assign the materials again. So this time, because it's an interior wall, I want the gypsum board on both sides of the wall. So I'm gonna go, then on the exterior side, we'll have gypsum, and the same on the other side. And then for the structure, again, it's going to be the lumber. All right. So now all our walls in this project have the proper materials in it and the proper layers as well, which is very important when you are creating a model. You want your walls, and not only the walls, you want all your components like floors and roofs and etc. to have the proper information in them, right? Because remember, at the end we're going to be creating material takeoffs, and if we created a material takeoff without assigning materials to the wall, we won't see anything on those takeoffs. So it's very important that we always assign materials to our components in our model. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we gotta do here, it's create an elevation view based off one of the existing ones in this project, and we're gonna rename it to be front elevation. So the front of this house, so that you guys know, is this side here, okay? Because these two are the front doors, you see? Let me flip them, just the same way they are in the cut drawing. So these are the two front doors. So this will be our front elevation. So what elevation do I want to use to duplicate and create the front elevation? I want to use this one here, because it's the one that is facing that side of the building, correct? You remember what I told you, like probably the first class, is that these little triangles here, those are the symbols for the elevations, and the triangle means the direction on which the elevation is looking at the building. So in this case, this triangle is looking this way. So I want to duplicate this elevation. So how do I know which elevation this one is? If I selected this triangle, on the properties here, it's going to tell me the view name down here. You see? And it's called East. So now I know that to create my front elevation, I want to duplicate the East elevation, which is here. So I go on the browser, find the East elevation, and duplicate it. With just duplicate, the first option there. Then I have the new elevation, and I'm going to rename it to front elevation. Okay? So now I have that elevation, and you can see on that elevation my walls going from level 1 to level 2, and also my 2 front doors, right? Okay, let's now next thing I want to do, it's hold on a second. Okay, why is this? Give me one sec here. I'm just looking at my. Okay, so now next thing I'm gonna do, yeah. So now let's leave that elevation alone for now. Okay. So. Let's now edit the door family here, because I'm not sure. No, well, we did this already. I think we can skip this item here. Yeah. Okay. So now, last class I inserted some doors, but I see that I'm missing some of them. So let's just finish inserting all the doors here. So again, under architecture, we find the door command. And before we start inserting doors, we need to make sure we're using the right type of door. Okay, let's just use the 30 by 80 for now. Let's put that one in there. Now, for these double doors here, I'm actually going to use a smaller type. Let's use the 24. And when you're inserting a door, once you have the mouse over the wall that you want to use, if you you press the space bar key, you can, as you see, you can flip the swing of the door, right? And also, if you move your mouse closer to one of the faces of the wall, then the door swings in that direction. Or if you go closer to the other face, it swings on that other direction. So that's very useful when you're inserting doors. And then insert this one here, and this one right here. Okay? And I'm going to do the same for this little closet here, and for this one here. And let's put some here as well. Okay, so now I believe I have all the doors inserted in this project, but some of them are not the correct size. for example, the window the door that should be here, it should be a 2'8" door, because I have that little label there, and that means the width of the door. So it should be a 2'8" door. So I need, let's say, Rebecca, do you know how many inches 2'8" are?
No.
Well, I'm gonna remind you. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, right?
Mm.
So if we have 2 feet, that means we have already 24 inches. But on top of the 2 feet, we have another 8 inches.
32.
So exactly. This means we have 12 plus 12 plus 8, which is 32. So I want this door to be 32 inches wide. I'm gonna look and see if I have a type with that size, and I don't, right? So what do I need to do? Who can answer? Nobody. Come on, guys, why are you so shy today? If I don't have the type that I need, I just create a new type, correct? How do I create a new type? I come here to edit type and duplicate whichever type I want to duplicate. So I want to have the 3 inches trims, so I'm going to stay with this type. I'm just going to duplicate it and then call it 32 inches by 80 inches with 3-inch trim. But I don't do anything by just renaming it. I need to change the parameters, remember? And what I'm changing here is the width. So right here, where it says width, I'm going to change it from 3 feet to 2'8" feet, or 32 inches, right? So if you look at my screen here, you can see I just typed 32 inches. But when I hit enter, it goes to 2'8". Because remember, we set the units in this project to be feet and fractional inches. So I can still type 32 inches, but it's going to show as 2'8". But it's the same. You can type it either way. You can type 2'8" inches or just 32 inches, which is probably easier, right? So I have my new type now. And now my door, you see how it shrank? Now my door is 32 inches. Okay? So this one here has to be also a 32 inches. But this time, I don't want the trims. Why? Because this is an interior door, and I only want the trims on the exterior doors. So I'm gonna go find a 32 by 80 without the trims, which I don't have. So again, I need to create a new one. So go to edit type again. I can use this 30 by 80, duplicate it, and rename it 32 by 80. And then what do I need to do next? Come on, who tells me what I need to do now? I created a new type and named it 32 by 80. What's the next step? Visibility? Is that what you said, Rebecca?
Yeah.
No, not really. We're not. I just want to change the size of my door because I didn't have a 32-inch wide door. So what do I need to do then? Change the width parameter. Exactly. Remember, you can create the new type and name it whatever you want, but if you don't change the actual parameters, you're not doing anything. Not just because you named it 32 by 80, it's going to be a 32 by 80 door. You need to come here and change the actual parameters. So I'm only changing the width, so I just need to go to width and change it to 32 inches. Okay? And now I have the new door. Alright? So this one, for example, is a 2'4", which is 28 inches. Let's see if I have a 28 inches. I don't. So I'm just gonna do the same process. Duplicate the one that I have, rename it 28, and change the width to 2'4" or 28. Okay? There. So the exterior door should be 3 feet, which is how many inches? Come on, guys. 36. This one is 36. I can, if I want, I can make sure that it's 3, so it is 3. So that door is correct. Same as this one here. This one, for example, should be a 2'8". So I need to change to 2'8". So this time I already have the 32-inch door, so I just need to select that type, right? You following me there? This door is not the correct size, so I need to change it to a 32-inch door. Instead of editing the type and duplicating this time, I just can come here and just pick the right type because I created it before. And it's right here, 32 by 80. So I select that one and it changes to that type, okay? And this one should be 2'4". So again, come here and select the 2'4" one. And this one should be 2'8" with the trims because it's an exterior one. So it'll be this one here, right? And this one should be 2'4" again. So now I think all my doors are the correct size, right? Yeah. So I now have all the doors with the correct size on them already. So we applied all the materials to the walls. Now I'm gonna apply materials to all these doors as well. So what do? I go to edit type, and for doors I have the materials right here. I have the trim material, the frame material, and the door material. So I think we already added these materials. So we're just gonna leave it like that for now. But if you want, you can always change the material right here. By clicking on this little box and just picking the material that you want. Okay? Good. So all my doors now should be fine. If I want to check and make sure that all the doors have the correct materials, I can come here to my browser and on the doors go to each one of these types, and here in the properties you can see the materials. See? So if you click on the next one, same materials, then same materials. This one has something different, I believe. Yeah. See, this one doesn't have the aluminum for the frame. So I want to change that. So how do I change that? Because I don't know, because I'm already in the browser, I can just quickly come here